I'm back to working in Project Zomboid again, and this right here is going to be a large train depot with multiple places for trains to be. And I'm just setting up the road and railway system at the moment. I've got a few of the roads in, but not all of them for this station. My building will be right here, and I've got this excavated out to work on at a later date. So that's basically what I'm doing here, just excavating the areas to speed up builds. There's going to be another building off in this direction, but it hasn't been excavated yet. So this is a lot of the pre-work. Now I placed in the bulk of the roads, and there's only, well, aside from the railway station, there's only really 2 roads left. One is on the other side of the railway station, and I had to put the railway station in to actually put that road in, since it connects to the other roads, but it connects to the other roads off the map, off this map in particular. So it's much easier to actually put in the railway station and then measure off where the road should be from that. And I'm just following this road right here to where I'm going to be working again today, and it is in the trailer park along the main highway. That's just a little ways down from Muldraugh. And this also gives me a chance to check to make sure I haven't forgotten anything or missed any blocks, such as these 2 right here. Okay, during the last stream I did of this, I placed in the patterns for these trailers. So now I'm going to build them up. And you can build them up individually or do it this way. It just is a matter of preference. Doing it this way allows you to actually set everything up first before you start building, since it's easier to actually tear down these patterns than it is to tear down an actual building. So if you're worried about distances, then it's easier to actually work with something like this and make sure you've got all the distances between the buildings. And this mostly is a problem if you're doing translations of already built things, or you want to make something that's not really, you want to build something based on something else rather than just doing a completely original build, although this can help with an original build as well. Outer door. And this will also allow me to make sure I've got all the windows in. There's 2 on both ends of it. One in the bathroom. Make sure I've got the right one. Yeah. And there's a large window here which looks into the living room. Well, in this case, the kitchen area in Project Zomboid. In this building, the kitchen is right here in the Project Zomboid game. Okay, that covers the 2 interior doors, bedroom, bathroom, and exterior door. 3 large paneled windows, and 2 small paneled windows. One window in the bedroom, interior door. Looks like I need to fix this as well. Interior door, bathroom. And the reason I fixed this is because I'd like the door to be positioned in such a way that it matches whatever you're actually going into. In this case, the door is on the back side of this block, so I want the floor to match this area right here, since this is the area you'll see. If it were on this side, you'd see a mismatch, so I don't want this mismatch. So by placing it on this side, I want the floor underneath the door to match whatever floor is next to it visually. And there's a window across from the bathroom door. Window in the bathroom. And this one has 2 large paneled windows on this end right here. Okay, so that takes care of that one. And in the Project Zomboid game, this is an abandoned trailer, or something that's, well, probably abandoned. It's basically empty. And the 2 interior doors. This one has a large paneled window by the dining room, one in the kitchen, and another one right here at the end of the trailer, and one by the front door. A few of them don't have these large panel windows at the end of the trailer, but not many. I think maybe 1 or 2. And one such trailer is this type of trailer right here. It takes care of this small one. And once this is done, it becomes a simple matter of building up all the walls all at one time. Sometimes it's easier just to do one specific job at a time. Okay, bedroom, window, and door. Kitchen window. Bathroom door and window. Front door. Sometimes it's easy to miss aim in this game, especially when you're working with glass panels. While I'm doing this here, I'm also checking the ground around the place to make sure I've got everything. And I'm gonna have to do some alterations here as well. Not too much. Okay, so that's all of the windows, doors in. Just need to put in the glass panels, and I'll just need to build up the walls. Sometimes, just as I said, assembly line is a little bit faster, since you only have to focus on one specific job. And this works if you're working on several buildings like these trailers that have roughly the same design. They have a different layout, but the framework is roughly the same. These trailers are pretty good for raiding for supplies, especially early game. But one thing to keep in mind, it's not always a good idea to stay in them for too terribly long. Or unless you figure out some way to put up some walls or defenses around it. Since they're all on the first floor and many of them have major access on both ends of the trailer, meaning it doesn't take terribly much for zombies to break in. And once they break in, it's relatively easy for them to navigate the trailer itself. And it's also easy to be trapped. This is especially true for the smaller ones, the smallest of the trailers doesn't have a separation between the bedroom and the rest of the trailer. So if a zombie breaks into the kitchen and living room area, then they have direct access to where your character is sleeping. It's not terribly much better if you use the ones with a door between. The main room and the zombies, since the only way out of this bedroom is this window if the zombies are on this side. So in other words, if 2-3 zombies are behind this door and there's zombies out here, you're pretty much trapped. And that could turn into a disastrous position. It's almost got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 more. Count this one. And once I've put down this trailer park, there's still another one on the other side of this area. Using the other method, I think I would have been able to build about 2, maybe 3 trailers in per video, or per an hour at least. This one, well, placing down the patterns is what took the longest, so maybe, depending upon how this goes, maybe 3, maybe 4 videos. Bulk of it being done in 3 videos, most likely, or 3 hours. So, yeah, it's a little bit of a speed up. And it's hard to gauge too, because there's varying sizes of trailers, and each of them requires something slightly different. And this also includes the entire environment, so a trailer like this is pretty simple to put together. There's only 2 rooms that you really have to work with. The bathroom and the studio room, I guess you could say. So 4 left. I'm gonna put the walls. Then once I've done that, I still need to go back and place in, make sure all the upper frames are in for the windows, doors, and then it's a matter of placing in the ceiling for all of them, and then the roof. The roof for some of them are going to be pretty simple, since the roof for that particular trailer is flat. So a few of them are situated like that. So in that instance, the ceiling instantly becomes the roof at the same time. Some of the other ones, they're not really that complicated. They have a slight angle for the roof. So it's just a matter of placing the slabs in the right position to get the exact angle needed. Or rather than exact, an acceptable angle. Seem to have missed a lot of doors. Okay, last one for the walls, and then it's a matter of placing in the rest of the frames. And these frames are basically, it's hard to actually do proper frames. So I found this to be a pretty good compromise between basically what would end up being a block. Since otherwise without these frames you'd end up with a pretty much a square like this for a window, which is a matter of preference. It's not bad, but I found that this including a stair on the bottom and top sort of accents the window a bit more. And you don't have to use a different type of stairs for it either. It still works with the same type of stairs as was around it, but using a different one just highlights it even more. And there's also another reason to use these as well. You can use them on the inside and the interior and the exterior, but you can walk up to a window such as this, so you have just a little bit of flex space. So if this were on the inside, you'd basically have a base seat. Okay, just 2 more. 4 frames, and then it's a matter of placing in the ceilings. The ceilings are pretty simple. It's just a matter of placing these slabs across the in the instance of a couple of these trailers, and that's pretty much, for the most part, what's needed for the roof as well. I'll create an extension, but the roof for the most part is flat. And it'll create a small overhang on the side, which will look like rain guards or just small overhangs that can be used. So for now, it'll look box-like, but that'll change once I start putting in the ceiling and adjusting it adjusting the ceilings for the roofs. Ceilings are coming in rather well. They're pretty simple to place in, the ceiling part it is. Some of the roofs for the houses take a little while longer. Okay, I'm gonna take a short break and then I'll be back to continue working on it. On these trailers. So one moment and I'll be right back.